Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, some big news for some and normal expected news for others, which is Vladimir Putin, Russia, rejects Trump's, United States' ceasefire plan. So Putin said, no, we need to make some adjustments. And I find it, normal. That's the first topic for this video. The second topic for this video is this. Putin drafts or launches the largest military draft in years. So he is going to draft 160,000 people in the military. To do what exactly? Putin begins biggest Russian military call-up in years. He's getting ready for war. These guys will tell you. These guys probably will tell you, see, he's ready to invade Europe with 160,000 people. I guarantee you that. So, let's start with the first article coming from New Voice of Ukraine, from the Ukrainians. But hey, it's not only from those guys. So, New Voice of Ukraine, April 1st, 2025. Moscow rejects Trump's ceasefire plan. Of course, they need to work on details. Russia says it cannot accept US's proposals on Ukraine, and I'm quoting in quotation mark, in current form. This is Reuters. We can't do this, my man. Come on, please, please, please. All right. Well, this is the losing side and this is the winning side. If you think that these guys are mediators, you have to look at the evidence. These guys were fighting these guys in Ukraine, and now they play mediating role, but they're not. All right, let's read the first article. Russia does not favor the partial ceasefire proposals negotiated by the United States of America, since they, and I'm quoting, do not address the root causes of Moscow's war against Ukraine. So, do you know what the root causes are for Russia invading Ukraine? Well, we have been told for 3 years now, more than 3 years, that Russia invaded Ukraine unprovoked and undefendable. I mean, their arguments are not there. They have no arguments. So they can't do it. It's just, they just have imperialistic views. All right. So it seems like the Russians have some reasons. Right there. What are the root causes? I tell you what the root causes are. Is NATO. That's the big one. In an interview with Russian propagandists, Ryabkov argued that the suggestions, that means you negotiate, put forward by the United States fail to resolve the underlying issues behind the conflict. And I'm quoting, "We haven't heard from Trump a signal to Kiev for a ceasefire." Ryabkov claimed, despite Ukraine previously agreeing to a US brokered ceasefire in the Black Sea and a pause in attacks on energy infrastructure. Yes, but the Ukrainians, if you want to call them Ukrainians, the guys in charge of Ukraine, they said Ukraine and NATO will monitor the Black Sea ceasefire. Got that? So NATO will monitor. That's exactly what the Russians want out of the area. So who's lying here? Not Ryabkov. Is that his name? Yeah, Ryabkov. All right, let's keep reading. Everything on the table today is an attempt to find a scheme that would first allow for a ceasefire, as envisioned by the Americans, and then move to other models and schemes that, as far as we can tell, leave no room for our primary demand the resolution of issues connected with the root causes of the conflict. He added that while Moscow is seriously considering the US proposals, it cannot accept them in their current form. So let's talk about them. And I'm quoting, "We have, without a doubt, a deeply and carefully thought out set of priorities and approaches on this topic, developed in part by our negotiating team at the recent talks with the Americans in Riyadh." Got it? Next, let's see what these baboons are telling us in Reuters, right? Trump is trying to broker a full ceasefire in Ukraine. No, Trump is negotiating his losing side of the war. It's not a broker. It's not a Please eliminate this lie. United States of America, Great Britain, the European Union, the countries that organized, promoted, planned, funded, sanctioned some themselves. They were actively involved in a war with Russia. They're losing. What they're doing right now, they try to enter Russia through the windows, not through the door. They tried to kick the door in. The Russians punched them in the face, and now with a bloody nose, they are pretending that they are the mediators, the brokers. We are in between. I'm going to take care of the baboons in Ukraine, the baboons in Russia, and we as adults, we're going to make sure they're okay. No, that's not how it is. You lost. You were involved in that big time. Big time. I mean, I made videos today, yesterday, the day before, in the past 3 years to show you the evidence of this guy's involvement in the Ukraine war. And now because they can't crack the door or come into the Russian household, they try to come differently. All right, let's talk. We didn't lose, they will tell their baboons in their countries. Well, no. We didn't lose. The Russians did not bloodied our little nose right here, even if it's long. All right, but it's okay. They didn't. We are just right now are going to mediate between the warring parties. We are part of the warring parties over there, and your party is a defeated party. That's what it is. So it's a propaganda, it's a lie. It's a lie. And Trump is trying to broker. No, he's trying to negotiate his losing a war. Or not he didn't start a war, but United States of America's. And the Russians allow them, and I'm going to come back to this. Remember when it was the 2023, not 22, 23. It was 22 at the end of 22, early 2023. I'm telling you, August 2022. Macron said, we should not humiliate Russia or Putin. Remember when he said that? And everybody was like, what? That's the whole purpose. Out. And now Putin, I think, tries not to embarrass and humiliate the United States of America. That's why they keep quiet and they say, yeah, we accept to negotiate with you the ceasefire in Ukraine. But they don't say, no, you're the losers, we're the winners. Ha, 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 ha. They're not going to do that. Why? Diplomacy. All right, but they said at the beginning, as I said, it was August 2022. Go ahead and check it out, in that area. So here it is. Trump is trying to broker. Okay, Russia says U.S. proposals need reworking. Correct. Says Moscow is taking U.S. ideas very seriously. They did. Do you remember the Russians wanted to negotiate exactly what is going on in Ukraine? They tried to avoid this garbage in October, November, December 2021, and then even in January at the beginning of February 2022, before the garbage of 24 of February 2022. And what did the other guy say? No, we're not going to talk to you. Unacceptable. What are they going to do? Well, we tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go in and we're going to pick you up. Bring it on. And now, that's exactly what happens. So no, they're not negotiating here like the brokers, whatever. Here it is. Russia cannot accept U.S. proposals to end the war in Ukraine in the current form because they do not address problems Moscow regards as having caused the conflict. A senior Russian diplomat. That's what it is, my friends. You don't believe that? Well, then allow these guys to baboon yourself. Trump in recent days said he's pissed off with Putin. And Putin said, yeah, I don't care, my friends. And again, we are taking the models and solutions proposed by the Americans very seriously, but we can't accept it all in its current form. Ryabkov was quoted as saying, international affairs, tralala. As far as we can see, there is no place in them today for our main demand, namely to resolve the problems related to the root causes of the conflict. It is completely absent, and that must be overcome. Correct. Very complex. I want to say right here, see, Putin has said he wants Ukraine to drop its ambition to join NATO. That's the main cause, my friends. That's why they want demilitarization and so on. So, do you think that the Russians are entitled to do that? I mean, how should I put it? Straight. They didn't agree to this, okay, we're going to do this right now. No, they say, okay, it's the process. Peace process, ceasefire is a process. Now we agree with the 30 days, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we agree with that. I knew from the very beginning that would be broken. by probably both sides. By the Ukrainians, I thought definitely the ceasefire will be broken. Why? They've been trying, the guys in charge of Ukraine, not the Ukrainians, the guys in charge of Ukraine, Zelensky and all these guys. They wanted NATO, the Europeans, to fight the Europeans. That's what they wanted. And they stay outside, count their money, count their money, look at their stock markets, their gold and diamonds. You got the hints? And then after these guys themselves again for the third time, they come back and they take over again. And Putin he knows what's going on. The problem is the other guys also know, but they are different. All right, so this is with ceasefire. We don't want it. We want to negotiate. That's fine. Let's see where we can meet. Where we can't meet, well, we can't meet. Next topic, here it is. The Telegraph. Putin drafts 160,000 men into Russian army despite peace talks. So we see when they say despite peace talks, the imbeciles from Telegraph probably they expect that they should not do it because they try to talk in peace talks. Now my question, why are the Americans building weapons, American companies, and they're buying weapons if there's no war? United States is not involved in any war, is it? Are they? Why are the Germans buying weapons? So why do you even, arm yourself if you're not fighting a war? In the future, maybe there's going to be a war. That's exactly what Putin does. So why don't you offer Putin the same reasons that you offer yourself? Do you think that the United Kingdom does not have an army? It has. Why do you have an army, homie? Are you fighting anybody? Are you planning to fight someone? No, just to defend ourselves. But the Russians are not allowed. Remember when it was when the Russians brought their troops at the border with Ukraine? About 200,000 at the beginning. You know what? You remember what the media said in the West? Push back, pull back. That's a provocation. I have to remind you, those troops were Russian troops on Russian territory. And even politicians in the West, what are those? Pull them back. While they have advisors, officers, military, CIA in Ukraine, in another country. And I mind you, the United States at the same time had, not only the United States of America, the Brits, had troops in Syria, occupying the northeastern oil fields of Syrian people, sucking dry their country of their oil, illegally. And they were telling these guys in their own country to pull back their forces. In my house, if I want to walk naked, I can walk naked wherever the fuck I want, okay? Even if I show up at the window. Don't look, all right? This is the way it is. I know that's called indecent exposure because someone sees you. Well, don't look. You want to look? Take pictures. Last longer. So here is, my friends. The Russians are, despite peace talks. This is not a draft for the war. This is Russia's yearly, I think they have twice a year, they have people who come into the military and people who get out of military. That means 18-year-olders that finished high school or the guys who graduate college, they go through this. This is Russia's law. What am I supposed to do? Because it's a despite peace talks. So what, am I supposed to accommodate you losing the war? No, I'm going to fuck you up. You try to me. What am I supposed to do now? Be nice with you? Even like that, the Russians are still negotiating, are still talking, meeting these guys in the middle. That shows me something else. Rather, according to Newsweek, Putin launches the largest military draft in years despite ceasefire talks. So these guys are trying to portray the Russians getting ready to attack someone. But as I said, let's see the military draft. Russian president has ordered the conscription of 160,000 men into the army, state media reported, making the largest draft initiative in years. Even as the Americans are not drafting anybody, they don't hire anybody in their army, now being at peace. Even as ceasefire talks with Ukraine continues under U.S. mediation. No, we are in the losing side, man. We are in defeated ones. Newsweek has contacted the Russian and Ukraine defense ministers and the White House via email comment. Why it matters? Let's see. The timing and scale of the draft raises doubts about Russia's commitment to diplomacy. So I can't negotiate and in the same time do push-ups and punch the bag? No, because you can't. What are you talking about? You see over there, commitment to diplomacy. The Russians were the ones who used diplomacy, remember, in 2021, October, November, December, talking with NATO. It was not the other guys who overthrew the government of Viktor Yanukovych, legitimate, democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in 2014 with the Maidan. And the next day, they immediately, the Democrats in the world, the free countries, they immediately recognized the new usurpers. Those were traitors. If you overthrow a legitimate government, democratically elected, of a country with the help of outside agencies, you are a traitor. You know what the penalty for that is? How would you call that person? Remember, we're told in America to work within the system, which is, you don't like who's in charge, democratically elected, go and vote for someone who you support and change the guy. That's how we are told to work within the system. But I can't forget that saying that if the government becomes tyrannical, is the duty of its people to change it, which is, you know what I mean? I don't think that was the case in Ukraine. I don't think Ukraine has this kind of verbiage over there. Nevertheless, see, Ukraine has accused the Kremlin of using negotiations to delay while reinforcing its positions on the battlefield. What am I supposed to stop now? So remember, these guys are trying to negotiate because they're losing. When they were kind of like a stalemate, they did not want to talk to the Russians. For 3 years, the Europeans did not talk to the Russians. What stopped them? Who stopped them? The Russians said, we're ready. Talk. We don't want to be here. We don't want to be here. But you didn't want to talk to us. And now we had to get out of our lady of the night in bed, warm bed, and go outside and smack you because you were making too much noise on my property right there or close to it. And you were beating my children on that property. So I'm going to go and save my children from being beaten by you in Ukraine after I tried to talk to you 3 days ago. Now I'm in bed and I'm very angry because I have to pull out and come out. All right? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you later.